Good afternoon, one and all. I am Vaijanta Patil, giving a seminar on women education in India and the gender discrimination for the fulfillment of refresher course of HRDC, Aurangabad University. When we talk about the historical review of the women education, that in ancient period, that is Vedic period, the education is limited to men and higher class, that is the varnas, higher varnas. Rare example of the woman, that is Maitri, Gargi, etc., that is Guru Patni, we call the Guru Patni. They have take the education in ancient period. In Buddhist period, in this period, the open the door of regardless of gender and classes. In medieval period also, the in Mughal rule again restrictions to men and higher class is banned. Then in modern period, decrease the impact of medieval period and the reform in education began, but the process of women education was very slow. Efforts of the social reformer like Mahatma Jyotiba Phule, Savitribai Phule, Pandit Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, Rajaram Mohan Rai have given contribution to women education in India. When we talk about the women education in pre-independence period, the modern education for women in India began in the early years of the 19th century, and by the 1880s university started the admitting women or the girls. Process is extremely slow, particularly until 2021, and female literacy rate moved slowly from the 0.2% in 1881 to 1.8% in 1921. There was a relatively quicker peace after 1921, and substantial advances come about only after the independence. Women education in India in the period 1850 to 1920 has shown that the number of female students in the school and the colleges increased between 1881 and 1950 only, but not where in the British India more than 1% of the female population had access to education at any level. We know about all these things. Indian constitution denied all kinds of discrimination in education and development opportunity. uh, 5-year plan have given attention towards the education of women and accepted their equal rights of education. In the sixth 5-year plan, for the first time, included a chapter of women and development in the sixth 5-year plan, that have to gone 5-year plan has gone, and in the sixth 5-year plan they have included the chapter women and the development plans. These plans had talked about the women's education but could not ensure about women's upliftment in the field of higher education. The National Committees of Education 1958, that is Durgabai Deshmukh Samiti, set up to scrutinize the special problems of women's education. On the one hand, empathize the need to bridge the gap between the education of men and women, and other no other change was found in the traditional or the traditional gender role in the society. That this is traditional thinking. There no change found in the traditional thinking about the woman. All important commissions such as University Commission, that is Rajakrishnan Commission, Secondary Education Commission, National Commission for the Women's, National Council for Women's Education, Bhaktavasalam Committee, National Committee on Women's Education in 1970 were hesitant in defining the aims of women's education and seem to have the uh, caught in the contradictory value system while define the purpose of women education. We have to think about this, all the committees report that recommends for the women's education. In the woman decade in India began in 1975 with a official report of the Committee of the Status of Women in India. The report Committee on the Status of Women 1974, better known as the Towards Equality report, set clear the guidelines on the aims of female education. And the recent years there are various efforts by the state government and central government or the government bodies to also enhance the women's education to careers to in all sector. But the society's mindset of the society have neglected what commission have reported about equal opportunity rights. And every time one questions, it raise question like, can she do? So when we think about the enrollment of the women in higher education in arts faculty, near about 40 to 42% girls are admitted in the arts faculty. In the commerce faculty 16 to 70%, science faculty 19 to 20%, in teacher education 4 to 5%, engineering that is only 11% we see, in medicine medical 4%, in law 1.84, that is near about 2 or 2.5, in veterinary science 0.08%, agriculture 0.29%, and other all about others is 0.96%, that is 1%. That is the structure of women enrollment faculty wise. This is the gender gap in admission also. The gender gap in literacy rate also differences across these states. Kerala has the highest female literacy, other side Rajasthan, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh have the lowest. Differences between rural and urban areas also. Parental preferences for the boy for schooling and the giving the admission in the higher education, higher dropout rate among the girl students we have seen in the every faculty. um, Studies conducted by the NUPA, MHRDC, TIS, ICSSR shows the result or the slow rate of growth in the women education. Increase in the enrollment at primary level, but higher dropout is from the secondary level, that NUPA said in 2008 also. GER in the higher education in India nowadays it is 22%, and girls GRE is near about 18%. But more enrollment of girl is in the distance mode other than regular mode. The outcome of the study says the reason of this situation, that is the poverty, that is one fourth of India population live lives below the property line. Social values, that is the family honor, parental preferences, early marriages, mandatory family work, that is domestic work, farming, child care, cooking is the mandatory family work for the girls. The health problem, reliable transportation, and the social safety, inadequate infrastructure facilities in the school and colleges, shortage of female teacher, gender biases in the curriculum. These all the outcomes of the report taken by these government organization or the NGOs that have uh, they have done the detailed study about the women's education. Then what the common problems of women in higher education in India, that is the fewer in number. Enrollment of women in higher education is high, yet the number of women in senior leadership remains low. face the barriers at entry and at all stages of the academic ladder. Women remain at the outer circle. He takes the education, but he remain in the outer circumference of the outer circumference of the education system. The under representation of women on the boards and at the head of the higher education institution reflects their difficulty to influence on the policy. We have seen how many universities are in the state of Maharashtra, that is 13 university, and how many VC, vice chancellors, are the women, that is the one. That is the gender differences in the higher education at the higher level of the leadership. Women are low in the number in the prestigious position and also lesser receptionist of the award also. While 30% of the country's university lecturers are women, the proportion falls to the 5% at the level of associate professor and slumps about the 2% at the professor level. This is the gender gap or the gender discrimination about the men and women in the university education. And in the UGC study found that the country's many recognized university only uh, 13 had the woman vice chancellor, that I have just notified that the just 3% of the total, and just under the half of these were at only woman university or the woman colleges only. That is the mandatory requirement for the woman university and woman colleges. So these are the some problems and the how the gender discrimination is done in the university and colleges and in the higher education. Thank you so much.